Hello and welcome back to the Sonata Chronicles vlog, episode 39.
39.
Almost at 40. And we do have some questions that came to us through one of our backers.
Yes, Alia Gonzalez asked us these questions.
Fantastic. She's very curious, like a little monkey.
Alia asked, how do you translate so that not only others can see what you saw in your head, but so what they're seeing translate to what you want them to see in a graphic novel?
I think with graphic novels, it's a little easier than with the written novel. So with novels, you really can't determine what they're going to see because it's just all in your imagination, and that's kind of the point. You know, you write so they have some base idea. With the graphic novel, you work really closely with the artist that's doing it, so you have the writer who has the initial vision, so Bill would have the vision of what the characters would look like, and he would describe that as best as he could to the artist at the time, whoever, you guys decide, whoever decides who the artist is going to be, and then he translates that into his artist style, the drawing style he uses. So some have a more sharp image with the chiseled cheeks, some are more rounded, depending on what style. And if you look at different graphic novels, everyone draws a little bit differently. So you work with your artist, and the artists that do graphic novels are amazing artists, so you can give them small directions like, I want the brows a little bit heavier, or, more distinguished jawline, or a little bit buffer. And that helps you really get a good idea of where your image is when you're telling the story. So in the graphic novel and in the film, you get the visualization, so the people reading it or watching it don't necessarily have to have that type of imagination to see what you're seeing, because it's right there in front of you. But when you're describing it for a novel, you really have to go into how you see the character and describe it in a way that other people, when they read it, can kind of get the same idea, but still they're going to imagine what they're going to imagine. So, Ollie, I hope that answered your question. I know that you're also a writer, so keep trying on that one. And this next one is for the film. She said she's curious on how you decide who makes a good fit for the role, or for a movie, film, or primarily their looks when acting ability to be morphed into that, or the other way around, where you find a great actor to fill the role and morph their looks as best as you can fit them. So how do you find someone to fit the role, or how do you alter someone to fit the role for a film?
Well, when you're casting a film, it's important that the director knows his or her own strengths and weaknesses. So, if you're really good at coercing extreme emotions from actors, then you're gonna be looking for people that show all the subtleties of the character in their audition, knowing that you can get them there. Like something that I've heard said about Steven Spielberg that I've always been very jealous of is that he can just speak to you in a certain tone of voice and you'll just start crying.
He makes women cry.
Yeah, and children.
And children.
And children.
That's
primarily children. In most of his movies, he makes little kids cry.
Yeah, but that's what makes him part of a good director is being able to pull that emotion out.
Well, so I don't have that ability. I'm not very good.
I've seen you make women cry.
Yeah, not the same. Not the same. Don't be airing my dirty laundry on the vlog.
No. When you did stained glass windows,
yeah,
you made Cherry that
no,
scene
but see,
where she
that's
cries.
what I see. But we cast Emily in that role because Emily could go there. I'm really good at crafting the subtleties of a performance. I'm not really good at coercing the extreme emotion. So when I'm casting a role, I look for people who can go to the extreme in the audition, so that I don't have to worry about trying to get them there when I know I'm not good at that.
Which Emily did a great job in Stained Glass Window,
Right.
and so did Jonathan Camp.
Right.
He kind of creeped me out on film, like he's the nicest guy in the world.
John is awesome. We love you, John Camp.
We
if
do.
You watch this, you should watch it.
But him,
He'll be on NCIS LA soon.
that's awesome.
Yes.
I know he will. Yeah.
So that's the first part of it, is you have to know your own strengths and weaknesses as a director. Looks are always second to acting ability. I'm a firm believer that an audience will buy most anything if the actors are just be it. You don't have to have perfect costumes, perfect props, perfect wardrobe, perfect sets, you know. If the actors are in it, they're creating the world. And you won't be paying attention to the quality of the props or anything if you're really drawn into the actors. That being said, you do go for, you know, it is important in film to get a visual cohesiveness. People shouldn't be related if they can't look like they have some shared genetic history. So you try to make sure that you're not getting people who are too physically different playing a role. But it is, if an actor just is, then they sell it and you buy it. So, you know, when I'm auditioning and I'm watching an actor audition, I really pay attention to my own physical reaction, because I know the words they're using. Most of the time in film we do what's called cold copy, or they work off sides from a script. And so you give the actor the hardest scene to play. They come in and they do their best with it. And I really pay attention to how I'm feeling, because I know my words. So I have to pay attention to how my body reacts to those words to know if it feels true or not. If an audience who's not familiar with the words is going to believe them. So, you know, if I start feeling warm, if my heart rate quickens, if I always write during auditions, if I'm writing less, then I know, you know, and I'm paying attention more, I'm obviously being drawn in. That's a good sign, you know.
Maybe you pee a little bit.
No, that doesn't happen.
Just a little too excited.
Ooh. After that, then we do callbacks. We get people playing off of each other in order to find chemistry. You know, the first audition is about acting ability, and then the second audition is chemistry, you know, which we call callbacks. So they come in, they do the scenes together. You may have them, you know, do multiple scenes with multiple people, and you just see how well these people play off each other, and at that point you start narrowing your people down to the people that get the role. So I hope that's what you wanted to know.
Very good.